My path to Major League Rugby was, I moved over to the US back in 2011, played with United Rugby just here locally in Alpine, Utah. Played with them throughout high school, also went to the high school All-American camps, some of the tours with them, went down to Argentina, Uruguay, Chile. From there, I actually went to BYU and played a couple years there, which was awesome. From that point, straight from BYU, I came to the MLR. So was rugby the sport that I played growing up? Actually, funny enough, I grew up playing soccer. My dad was a professional soccer player, and so it's kind of granted that I play at least for a couple of years. I played that until I was about 10 or 11, and then I actually went to golf. So rugby was kind of on the afterburner, but it's funny because obviously living in South Africa, you have to play rugby. And so once I got to high school in 8th grade, that's when I started. But to be honest, I fell in love the moment I first actually played, which was awesome, so never looked back. I kind of had to choose between rugby and golf. It's same time of year, so it's kind of hard. And so being in South Africa, it's like, well, do you choose one or the other? And when we moved, so my parents got divorced, when we moved, I didn't have a golf course nearby. Like the closest one was like 25-minute drive. And so whereas I used to live pretty much on a golf course before, and so then I used to just walk to the course every day and just play. And so it was a little bit harder. My biggest support in my journey to the MLR would probably be, there's 3 of them, probably my mom, my dad, and then my wife. Obviously being in America, it was just me and my mom, and so she was always there for games no matter what, whether it was high school. She drove across the country for my university games. And then after that, to this point, it's probably my dad as well. He was always there, you know, supporting, watching wherever he could, always asking, what's the stream, how can I watch, right? And then once I actually got to the MLR, my wife has been a huge anchor for me. I mean, it's long days, late nights, and she's still there to kind of stick around and make sure I'm well fed and, you know, always food when I get home from practice, which is awesome, so props to her. But those 3 have been a huge pinnacle point for me. So what does community mean to us as players? Honestly, community is everything. It's without them, there's no us, right? So it's the reason we show up every day, we practice hard, is to make sure we can put on a good show for our fans. To be honest, it's that unity that we feel. It's like being part of something that's bigger than ourselves. It's what we all crave, right? And so having that community is essential for us as players, because at the end of the day, when we do it, we have to remember why we're doing it, and it's usually for them. I mean, here in America, it's kind of granted, it's the fastest growing team sport, I think still has been for a while, and it's inevitable that something like this would happen. And so it's cool being able to rub shoulders with the guys that you played against, now you play with, right? So it's really fun. 2 things no one really knows about me. I would say probably my obsession with barbecuing. I got a Traeger not too long ago, about a year ago, and my wife bought it for Christmas, and ever since then I've been trying something new every weekend. I smoke anything from pizzas to cookies to steaks to whatever it may be, we try it. If it's there, we try it. And then my second one, something else, is probably my secret obsession with motorcycles. I don't actually own one currently, but I love motorcycles. It was actually my first date with me and my wife. I actually borrowed a buddy's motorcycle and went for a ride. And so that was our first date together, which was awesome. But yeah, so hopefully one day be able to own my own Harley, cruise down the PCH. That's a dream come true there. My style of play on the pitch would probably that of consistency. I always make sure I know what my role is, and I do whatever I can to make sure that role is executed. I'm not a very flashy guy. I get too nervous throwing that crazy pass or whatever it may be, so I stick to what I know and I make sure that I do it well every time so that we can get the results that we need. Staying fit in the off season was kind of tricky. It had a lot of home workouts with me and my wife. Tried some yoga out for the first time, which was pretty cool. But to be honest, I actually took a good couple months off, which was really good for the body. Obviously, you know, getting battered day in and day out, you know, on the practice field, and then obviously a short season. It's kind of nice to just let the body relax and do its thing and then get back into it. But yeah, a lot of home workouts and then the basics, just doing what we can, right? I'm Calvin Whiting, and I'm here for the nation.